this theme, and we are speaking about healing consciousness, enlightenment, education of the new era. Okay, when I was still at the very beginning of my professional and spiritual way, I asked myself how I can help people to see their own depths. Now, 28 years of teaching experience allow me to see a fundamental disparity between the way teachers are training, how they work, and their true purpose. After all, the profession of a teacher is a divine occupation. The whole world is transforming. The man is being transformed as well. The essence of the education is enlightenment that health consciousness. 20 years ago, University helped me to see the way how to do connect human beings with their inner world through a positive, systemic approach towards education. Only the one who is open to the higher plane and who transmits its essence and reflects the integrity in different relations can be a real teacher and to mentor a child or a grown person. Only then one can help somebody else to carry out the program of destiny. The hierarchical nature of the world order and its strict co-organizing tell us about this. Human being stands at the crossroads of worlds and connects the cause and the effect. To perform healing enlightenment means to stay in the axis of spirit at all times while guiding one student. Alignment with the axis of spirit is crucial for healing enlightenment. Learning makes sense if it is oriented towards the needs of the world. Their purposefulness is first and foremost hierarchical. It is the basic of nature-oriented education. It is a natural process made by relative, simulatory, and hierarchical mutual coordination of all multi-level flows which occur within an organism, humanity, at the planetary level, It is a natural, evolutionary, ever-changing process. And the master meets the disciple in the heart of their unified energy system. The main task of education today is to bring God back into education. What does it mean? What does it mean, sorry? God is the reason for human life. The real teacher is investigator. He has spirit on investigation and irradiate of this investigation to his disciple by his heart. In that way, our education of the new era can be called Enlightenment. This means that the task of education is to reveal the reason for the life of each person, to find his place and role in life, in the universe, and embed this understanding in his holistic worldview. Education should provide connections between inner and outer worlds of a person. The teacher must resonate with the purpose and reveal the inner world of himself and the student. The base of healing education is mastery and elegance of the teacher, practice-oriented learning process, individualization of the flow of life is basically the essence of healing stream-like education. A holistic educational system which healing is based on the formation of a causal systemic worldview, comprehension of the systemic nature of the world order, systemic logical thinking, the stage of growth of human consciousness, a sensor-logic perception of a person, a way of connecting the internal and external world in the heart, cardocentric education, and true humanity. We consider this triplicity in human development on 7 levels of space at 12 temporal stages involving their united energy system formed between participants of educational process, them and the world. Space, time, energy, 3 parameters of education as well. Healing enlightenment is formed as a result of the unity of the masculine and feminine principles. The male principle brings such qualities as activity, purposefulness, thirst for knowledge, and transformation in life, orientation to creativity, within and building strategic goals. It facilitates learning. The feminine principle introduces such qualities in relationships such as peacefulness, tendency to unite and compromise, love, trust, and patience, orientation towards stability, sustainability every day, and the monotonous labor of inspiration towards development of each person. It facilitates upbringing. The model of the universal scientific picture of the world determines the structure of the healing enlightenment. This picture of the world combines 2 components. The natural scientific one provides knowledge about the structure of the world, like architecture of the world, and the social and humanitarian component covers patterns of the world's cosmological and historical development. Both components comprise the causative segment of the model, which is fully implemented in various spheres of social, technological activity of mankind. Human development occurs at 7 levels of systemic relations with the world in 7 spheres of its which which continues the space of his life as psychophysical, emotional, sensory, mental, social, collective, hierarchical, and ideological levels. It also unfolds at 12 temporal stages of systemic relations. Universal approaches reflect the unique nature and ability to resonate of the teaching in the evolution of mankind. We focus on the man in the system of his relations with the world. The integral teaching and upbringing levels the resonance between their universalia-oriented studies and integral yoga. Universal levels of education are worldview education, education of hierarchical values, moral education, collective education, social education, mental education, emotional, sensual education, and psychophysical education. And in resonance with personal education and 5 types of upbringing according to Mira Alfassa: physical education, education of the vital being, education of the mental being, of the psychological being, and education of the sacramental or spiritual being, like the whole system of mankind. In the system of continuing education developed in the International Scientific School of Humanology, we managed to introduce these fundamentals into the education of young people. We focus on forming a responsibility, like the first stage, discipline of relationships, the second one, aspiration, third one, constancy of co-creation, reliability, hierarchy of values, and image of the future as a goal-oriented life position. We train thinking abilities according to the algorithm of the laws of nature. The out-of-the-box thinking allows us to step outside conventional visions and reveal the volume and integrity of the vision of any phenomenon or process. Rather than passively receiving information, students are actively involved in activities. This is how, wait a minute, please. This is how the sensual and logical perception of the world is formed. It connects the inner and the outer in the man. And multi-level education, multi-level development of him, not only one side, but everything, the whole side. This is how the path of accumulating the experience of development is built. It takes 12 steps within the circle of time, from the macro to micro world. This is how each person becomes an active force that contributes to the world's evolutionary transformation, becomes a part of civilizations and nations. Healing enlightenment is a stage-by-stage living through the learning material. It creates conditions for cultivating the necessary qualities of a person while accumulating experience in the three circles of development sequentially. Relatively, simulation's process of extracting experience in learning during the transition from the circle of manas, theory, to the circle of buddhi, practice, and formation of transition in the circle of atma, synthesis of quantitative accumulations and different development levels. We have developed a technology of stage-by-stage human growth. Each stage suggests a certain image of action and its characteristic. In our educational system, we propose the same phasing for each year of study in a 7-year period. This can be presented as 12 models of the annual human learning cycle, which is the basic community of he or her education. An example of the implementation of our system in the work of the non-government scientific and research center of universal technology of man's development in Chernihiv, which organized a laboratory for the implementation of universal integral multi-level education. Here, the algorithm of balance of 4 elements in project research activity of students is tested. Their Lyceum educational work is based on the model of portrait, creative portrait of personality. Like a future graduate is rare modeling. And on each stage of this model as definite quality is. Active work in the team of educators and teachers of the Lyceum on the basis of our models allowed to develop diagnostics in self-assessment of each student. This allowed each teacher to reach the trajectory of individual development of work with a student. Active work, our system in this work of universal international multi-level education allows us to form a flexible system of interconnection and interaction between educational, academic, research organization. It aims at the evolutionary development of man. It combines community, nature-oriented education based on self-organization in public self-government. This allows us to form a system of additional education for adults. Then, on the basis of causal systemic worldview and integral worldview, systemic logical thinking, sensor-logical perception of the world is formed. The practice of sensor-logical world perception allows a person to tune into the high frequency of vibrations of the new epoch. And the practice of creating a united energy system will reveal the essence of pedagogical resonance between teacher and student. The man of the future is born, the man creator, the man who transforms himself as the world. And we are engaged in this process. I think we have very much creative ideas about such theme and future together. Thank you for your attention.